Hi guys, this is Spencer at Dash Built, and I just want to go over with you a pre-purchase roll cage inspection for some of you that may be looking at purchasing a car and you don't know exactly what to look for. And the purpose of this video is to hopefully save someone a whole lot of headache and a lot of money. So I'm going to go over, try to make it quick on some key spots to look at on a roll cage. And yeah, we'll go from there. Okay, so this is a FRS cage we just finished up, and I'm gonna go over just a couple key spots that I think you can look for. And as far as the overall roll cage design goes, I think that's something that you can just kind of maybe email some pictures to your local race shop and ask them if the actual roll cage design will pass tech. I mean, there's things that you can tell pretty easily. You know, does it have the correct tubes in it? Does it have 5 bends in the main hoop? Are the rear down bars done correctly? Those kind of things. So those will be easy to spot pretty quick. And then the only other things that factor into this are the correct material used, and then of course if it has incomplete welds. So when you're going to look at this, do a roll cage inspection, I just have a little bendy mirror here that you can get anywhere, get at Rally's for a few bucks, and it helps to have a flashlight. So when you're looking in here, you're just going to look for the obvious spots. I mean, if something looks like it's hard to weld, then you know it's hard to weld. So there's no secret that this stuff, you know, can be a bear to get to. So just jump right in. I'm going to go over some tough ones here. So we're in the car now, and I'm going to go over a couple spots, that are kind of the first go-tos. The first one I look at is the door bars. It just seems to be consistently the hardest tubes to weld when you're building a cage. So it helps to have a flashlight, but I'm going to try to show you that you just you just get your little mirror, and you're going to go through and you're going to check all these joints. The rule book state that each joint needs to be 360 degrees. So obviously the top ones, and basically anything that's hard to get to. Okay, along with the backside of these door bars here to the main hoop, another really common spot to look for is going to be on the front side here, the lower, where the A-pillar is. So of course this door bar getting welded, and then if the car has foot protection, you're going to want to check those as well. And there's one in here for the foot protection tubes behind, behind these two tubes here. So I can't get the mirror in there right now, but behind these two tubes here, you'll check there. So that spot, the door bars where the A-pillar is, door bars at the main hoop. Of course, all the ones on the top, which those are all pretty easy. So for the rear, there's usually not much of an issue or much to look for. You know, you're just looking for the same thing. Are the welds incomplete? So on the hard spots that are, you know, maybe up here jammed against the body of the car, you know, get it in there. Make sure, you know, all the pockets all are 360 degrees. Like I said, the tops usually aren't that difficult, but definitely check those as well. And then there's one more spot. Hold on. So the last spot that typically I see is just the main hoop, the actual main hoop to the lower base plate in general, because sometimes you can build that too close to the car and it becomes really hard to get to. So that's probably the last one. Of course, though, you're gonna want to check all of them, as many as you can get I shouldn't even say that. You're going to want to check all of them. You're going to want to get the mirror out. All you need is a mirror and a flashlight to save yourself a huge headache to do this. So, yeah. Okay, guys, so that's the basic rundown of how to do at least some sort of a pre-purchase roll cage inspection. Some things to look for. Now, something I really want to stress, and really the main reason I'm making this video is when you're buying a used race car, it does not matter if the car has a logbook and has been racing for years. Every cage I've cut out of a car has probably had a logbook and has been racing on some form of club racing level. So how this happens is the car is raced in another region. Okay, so you buy it from wherever, or the car came from wherever, had a logbook, has been racing there for 5-10 years, and then it comes into another region, and the tech inspectors are different, the sanctioning bodies are different. So the car rolls through tech to get its first annual, and it's got missing welds everywhere. So they're gonna dock you, and they're gonna make you fix this. I've had to do several of these. It's not cheap. The minimum cost to cut a cage out and put a new cage in the car is $6,000. I mean, we charge at least $6,000 to do this. So I've done several of them. Luckily, this was not one of them. This guy, this was a new cage for him. So just be careful. Nobody's out to get you. Chances are the owner that's selling you the car has no idea that the cage has incomplete welds, because he has not been in there climbing around, and also his tech guys have just passed the car. They've either grandfathered it in because the car's been racing in a certain sanctioning body for so long. But I'm telling you, it can bite you, and I've seen it happen. Okay, one last thing to touch on, that's a really big point as well, is someone finds a car, they do the inspection, they think, okay, well, there's an issue with the cage, or that the previous owner has made clear that there's an issue with the cage, and there's an understanding that it's going to need to be addressed. Okay, well, before you purchase the car, you need to reach out to whoever's going to be fixing this, your fabricator or a local race shop that is going to do it themselves, or they have someone that's going to do this for them. And you need to ask them with pictures and all, if what's wrong with that cage can be fixed. Because what people don't understand about roll cages is that there's a process in which it has to be put together and welded, and because the car has an incomplete weld, or this tube is wrong, this tube needs to be replaced, you cannot just go in there and weld those incomplete welds. Best case scenario, the car only has one incomplete weld, and you will have to basically cut the body away where it's not welded. So whether that be door bar area, I've seen people cut this whole door jamb area out, weld the tube, and then graft that area back in. On these upper ones up here, I've actually had to do this before, where this one weren't welded on a car that was brought to me, and thankfully those were the only two welds that were missed, and I was able to basically punch holes in the roof, hole saw the roof, and weld those up, and then basically just re-weld those patches, that sheet metal, into the roof. But then the car has to get body worked, has to get painted. That's absolute best case scenario. I've only seen one car that's come to me that had those two welds in those accessible spots. Usually if the car has incomplete welds, it's got them in several spots, because it's just kind of the way it goes. I mean, there's a reason they didn't weld the first stuff, because it was difficult, or maybe the cage was just designed in a way that made it all difficult to weld it all. It doesn't excuse it, but something you really need to take into consideration is that if someone tells you something needs to be fixed in a cage, don't just think, oh, okay, cool, well, it's just one tube. I've had people come to me and have these A-pillar tubes here and say, okay, well, I just want to get the A-pillar replaced. What is that going to cost me? And in the nicest way possible, after they've already purchased the car, you have to tell them, look, there's no way I'm replacing the A-pillar in that car. The whole cage has to be cut out, has to be done again. So I know I'm harping a little and ranting on here, but it's just I'm just trying to educate people that may not know. So when you're buying a used race car, doing a pre-purchase inspection, I would recommend you at least send pictures of the roll cage to your race shop. They can kind of verify that the design, at least nothing stands out. And then if you're going to be looking at the car by yourself, definitely take a mirror and a flashlight and check these spots that I've gone over. And if you know, maybe you're going to have a race shop do the pre-purchase inspection, and you know, maybe they can learn something from this video. But anyways, just wanted to make this just to get it out there and hopefully help some of you. Thanks.